Instruction Skill 10 is dealing with understanding discounts and sales tax. And this time I'm going to go right to the problem. We'll look at the box in just a minute. And I can use a calculator. A set of 3 music CDs regularly sells for $44. The set is on sale at a 25% discount. If the sales tax is 5%, what is the total cost of the CDs? Well, you know me, I like to put these in my own words. I do know the answer I'm trying to get, and here's how I would do it. There are other ways, but this is how my brain works. We know that we have a cost of the CDs. We know that we're taking off a discount. That's a minus. And then we know that all of that, let me use parentheses, gets taxed. So we would have to find that, and then we would have to add the sales tax. So that's sort of the gist of what's going on here. All right, the cost is the easy part. If there is an easy part, it's $44. The discount would be 25% of 44 that you get to subtract. Then we would have to add the sales tax, which is going to be 5% of the price, and we haven't found that yet. So I'm going to leave that alone. The cost of the CDs is $44. The discount is 25% of $44. And then the sales tax is going to be 5% of whatever that amount turns out to be. So we have some work to do first. We're going to start right here. We're going to figure out the discount. So I will say 25%, and remember I can use the calculator. That's also a fourth, so I can tell you that it's $11. So the discount is $11. All right, so we know 44, and we know our discount. That leaves us with $33. That's the reduced cost. And that is what comes up here to be taxed. So 5% of 33. Again, I'm going to use my calculator. Is $1.65. So $1.65 plus 33 is $34.65. And that is the final total cost. And that's what they marked, number 4. So let's look at their example and see, you might like that method better. Write a sentence that describes the solution. Total cost equals the sale price plus sales tax. To find the total cost, find the sum of the sales price and the sales tax. Step 1. I'm not going to read all this. Essentially, what they've done, they have taken $44 minus the discount, just like we did, and they got $33 just like we did. Okay, so that would be the first step, to find the sale price. Step 2 was to take the sales price, which was $33, and add the tax. And that's what we did right here. For some reason, I'm going into eraser mode for no reason, and it's bugging me. So we found the sales tax, and then we added it to the actual cost, and we came up with $34.65. Okay, here is an alternate solution. Notice that the sale price is 75% of the original price. So you can jump right to that. You take your discount right there, and then do 75% of $44 is $33. That, I understand that, but that's not the way my brain works. My brain wants to subtract a discount instead of figuring a percentage of the sale price. But you can absolutely do that if you want to. And one way of adding 5% of a number to itself is to multiply the number by 1.05. This one makes a little bit more sense to me. Think of it this way. For every dollar you spend, you're paying 5 cents tax. So every dollar gets 5 cents tax, and we're doing 33 of those. And that will get you directly to your total cost. That one makes sense to me. That top one, I get it, but that's just not the way I think. So you decide what works for you, and that's what you can do. It's fine. Using the calculator, it shows you the keystrokes if you need those. I prefer to write mine out and work it a step at a time. If I try to do it just like this, I'm going to get lost. But again, if that works for you, you can absolutely do that. Okay, let's practice on page 33. There are 3 concept problems, and none of them allow a calculator, so I'll lay that down. The sale price of a set of dishes is $39.99. If the sales tax rate is 8.5%, which expression gives the total cost of the dishes? So this is one of those alternate thinking ways of doing it. And let me see if I can walk you through it without getting off in the weeds. So we have the cost plus tax. So immediately I look over here, and all of these are multiplies. So that formula is not going to help me a whole lot. But let's keep thinking. Let's just keep following the train here. $39.99 is the cost. And the tax rate, let me come up here. This is a percentage. I want it as a decimal. I want to convert it to dollars and cents. So I will move my decimal 2 places to the left. And that would be the decimal 0.085. All right. So tax would be for every dollar I spend, I'm paying this much tax. So for every dollar, this is the tax rate. And for this one, if you set it up in that form, you want to multiply. And sure enough, there it is. It is number 5. So in this format, you will always have your dollar in the leader seat and your tax as a decimal back here. And then you will multiply. and it will work every time. You just have to be sure that you have the right tax rate in there. Number 2, a camera regularly priced at $399.99 is on sale for 10% off, disregarding sales tax, which is the best estimate of the camera's sale price. So there are a couple ways you can do this. You can say cost minus the discount. So the cost, and we want to estimate, so the cost is about $400, and the discount would be 10% of $400. And this is going to be $40. So 400 minus 40 is $360. And that would be your estimate. Here's another way to do it. It's that alternate way where you're using let me think how best to explain this. You are paying, if you're saving 10%, you're paying 90% or 0.90, 90% of the original cost. So in this case, you would be saying 90% times 400. And that will take you directly to 360. Either way works. I tend to see it the red way because to me a discount is a subtraction. But some people like the blue way, and it doesn't matter. Either way you do it, you should get 360. Number 3, which expressions, plural, show how to find the sale price of a $250 stereo that is being offered at a 25% discount. Tax is not mentioned here. Okay, one way to do it, and it's similar to what we just did right here. You can do it as cost minus discount. So $250 is your cost. Your discount is 25% of that $250. So 25% of $250 is going to be 62.5. I wasn't supposed to use a calculator there, was I? I'm sorry. 250 minus 62.5, since I've already cheated, I'm going to do that, is 187.50. So that's how I would solve the problem if I were asked to. But what are some other ways of doing that? This is going to give you the discount only. This part is the same as this part. And that's great, but that's only the discount. B is one of your answers, and I'll show you why. If you are saving 25%, that means you are paying 75% because it has to total 100. So you are paying 75% of the cost, which is $250. So B is definitely one of them. This is a yes. C is just weird. I don't know. They're trying maybe to confuse me with that sales tax thing. D, be careful, because D is actually one of your choices that will work. Here's what I mean. Think about 1 minus 0.25. What is 1 minus 0.25? It's 0.75. And we've already seen that B will work. This is the same as this one. And we know that B will work. C will not. So for this one, my nose is itching so badly. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm going to start sneezing. B and D both will work. I do not like that one. That one really, I don't like any concept questions. Those bother me. I much prefer a story, like number 4. And that calculator sign is wonderful too. At Music City, music CDs are on sale for $14.50. What is the total cost of a CD if sales tax is 5%? So this one, we don't have to worry about discount. We just have to do the cost plus tax. So we have the cost is $14.50. Tax is going to be 5% of $14.50. So I need to do that first. And this is a calculator question. So let's use the calculator. $14.50 times 5% is 0.725. And we have to add that to our $14.50. And that is 15.225. And we have to round because we can only do to the penny. So 15.23. Now, if you want to use that other sales tax method that I actually do like, let me show you how to do that one. The cost is $14.50. And remember, for every dollar, I pay $7.25 in tax. So if you do $14.50 times 1.725, $14.50 times 1.725, that is not right. So what have I done here? $14.50 times 1.725. Something is wrong. But what is it? Because I'm getting this number, which is not even in the running. So let's think it through. It is almost midnight and I'm very sleepy, so I've done something weird. The tax is right. Let me double check that. I'm not going to start this video over because you need to see me make mistakes. And it's midnight and I don't want to start the video over. So I don't see anything wrong right here. This would be my first thing to check. Oh, I see it. Duh. This is wrong. Hopefully you caught that. What is the tax rate? Let me do a little erasing right here. I should know better than this. it's not 72 cents on the dollar, it's 5 cents on the dollar. And let's try this multiplication. You can tell this is not how I usually figure sales tax, but I should have caught that. And this one gives me a different answer. 1450 times 1.05. Here we go. 15.225 is $15.23. So make sure if you use this method that you don't do what I did. You use the tax rate, which is this number, 5%. That's what gets added to every dollar, not some weird number that I found. Okay, sorry about that. This will be my last video for tonight. All right, in application, a clock radio that regularly sells for $18 is on sale for 30% off. If the sales tax rate is 5%, what is the total cost of the clock radio? And lest I make that same mistake again, I'm going to go ahead and write this right here, because I will do it again. All right, here is the scenario. We have the cost minus a discount plus tax. And I've already done that tax. Let's just go ahead because I'll mess around and do it again. There's that one. All right, the cost is $18. The discount is going to be 30% of 18. So this is my discount piece. And then those minus and plus signs are still very important, so I don't want to lose those. All right, I'm going to have to figure the discount first. So I'm going to start right here. We can use a calculator. Thank goodness. So 18 times 0.30 is $5.40. That's the discount. So I will take 18 minus 530 using my calculator, minus 540 is 1260. That is the discounted sale price. And remember, if I'm using the 1.05 for tax, I actually multiply that by my price. So 1260 times 1.05 is 1323. And that's what gets gridded. That is the final cost with the tax added. And don't forget to bubble it. 1, 3, and you want to bubble completely. Don't leave a white speck in the middle, because sometimes that can throw the computer. Plus 2, 3. One 3.23. Don't lose your decimal either. Remember, the computer will read what you bubble and not what you write. All right, number 6. Evelyn is buying a new kitchen table and a set of chairs. The original price of $860 is being discounted 20%. What total will Evelyn pay if the sales tax is 6.5%? So we have the price minus the discount. And I'm going to put tax out here. I'll decide in a minute if it gets added or multiplied. I think I'm going to have it multiplied because the more I do it, the more I like that method. All right, the price was $8.60. The discount is going to be 20% of $8.60. So let's do this first, and we may use the calculator. $8.60 times 20% is $172. So $8.60 minus $172 is $688 on sale. Now be careful with the tax rate. It is 6.5%, but we need to know that in terms of dollars and cents. So I'll move this back 2 places. That's 0.065. So my tax will be, for every dollar, 0.065. And since I'm using that dollar in there, I will multiply. 688 times 1.065. 688 times, I've already messed up, I lost my decimal. 688 times 1.065 is 732.72. So I like option 5 as that answer. I'm going to stop recording for tonight, but I will pick up with the next lesson. I'm not sure what it is because this is the end of my book. So I will pick up next time, and I'll see you in that next video clip.